Welcome to session 2 of Ground Zero. Here's what I want to do real quickly. I want to start with the person immediately to my left. So figure that's my left. This is my left. That would be your right. So figure out who that is. I want you to go around and I want you to recite the books of the New Testament in order. The books of the New Testament in order. Start with the person to my immediate left, to the right of the TV or whatever you're watching this on. Books of the New Testament in order. Ready, go. Why are you not going? All right, so listen, did that freak you out? Did that freak anybody else out? Like, have you ever been asked a question and you're like, I don't know the answer to that. I probably should know the answer to that, but I don't know the answer to that. And what can I do? And do I have to make that answer up? Or maybe you had a class in college where you're like, or in high school, like, don't call on me, don't call on me. I was in third year Greek. It was crazy hard. Third year Greek when I was in college, and the professor, I went into that class every single time scared that the professor was going to ask me a question because it was an incredibly hard class. By the time we were done, he wanted us to read literally from the Greek New Testament and be able to look at the Greek and then read it out loud. Wasn't happening with Scotty, I'll tell you that. But I remember thinking, this guy could ask me any question and could just reduce me to ashes because I don't know. I mean, I'm getting the work done and I'm trying to trudge through, but it's hard to understand. And so whenever he would ask a question, I was like, if you've ever led a middle school ministry and ask a kid for to pray, you get this, right? And so I was like this the whole time, like, don't make eye contact, don't make eye contact, don't make eye contact. But what about some of the harder questions of Christianity? You know, are you afraid that somebody's going to ask you some hard questions? You know, like, why did Jesus die? And aren't all religions the same? And isn't the same God, your God, the same as other gods? Are you like, if you're like me, sometimes you're a little scared that you get asked that question and then you're like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I need to answer the question, but I'm not really sure. So in this session, we're going to explore a lot of things and mainly talking about sin and salvation. So we're in our Ground Zero series. Again, Ground Zero means a starting point or a base. And so we talked last week about the Bible. And this week, we're going to talk about sin and salvation. But by the time we're done, you're going to be able to answer some key questions. And actually, in only 6 verses, you're going to be able to answer these hard questions. So the questions like this: how do you become a Christian? You'll be able to answer that. Or what makes Christianity different from other religions? You'll be able to answer that by the time the evening's over. Or doesn't everyone go to heaven? Or what is baptism all about? Or the question of why did Christ really have to die? And I know that sounds complicated, but it's really not. So today you're going to look at 6 scriptures from the book of Romans. For those of you who've been around for a while, this may be a bit of a refresher. It's called the Roman Road. And if you can just picture as you're on a road and you're just kind of journeying with Christ and taking a step closer to Christ, you're going to see these 6 scriptures and they're going to put in context, they're going to put sin and what sin is all about, and they're going to put salvation. How is it that we become a follower of Jesus and we become saved? That's a big Christian term. But how do we come into His family and how do we come into relationship with Him? In 6 verses, you're going to be able to figure all of that out. And along the way, I think you'll find answers to many of the questions that are there. Now, again, for some of you, this is going to be a review. Good. I would love for you to be at the place, if this is a review for you, that you're able to take out a napkin and scratch this out on a napkin, because there's going to be an instance in your life where somebody's going to say, I don't know about this whole Christianity thing. It's just really weird or it seems off base. What do you know about it? You whip out a pen and a napkin, and in 6 verses, you can explain to them the gospel. And it's an incredibly powerful tool. So listen, jump in, have some great conversation, explore what the scriptures have to say, and take some big steps closer to Christ as you explore the Roman road.